Welcome back to H3 Weapon Deep Dive. We've got some special ones, of course, today. We are in home SMG rifle carbine Model 8. We are looking at the Model 8 and the Model 81. These are very early semi-automatic rifles, or carbines, I suppose. What is going on here? Well, we are chambered in 35 Remington, which looks like that. It's pretty big. We've got clip-fed integrated magazines on the Model 8. See, it's built in. And on the Model 81, we've got big old detachable magazines on this guy. And you can feed it with clips in the top. They are both semi-automatic, not fully automatic. Oh, well. But they are interesting pieces. Let's check them out. Let's take a look at the controls, starting with the Model 8. Very basic controls here. You've got your bolt handle on the right side. It will lock open when the magazine is empty. Here's our clip. Yes, you can actually manually feed in rounds like so. No problem. Or you can put them in a clip, feed them in that way. You do have to take the retaining piece off before the bolt will close. So you can't just pull the bolt back and have it eject the clip manually, or rather automatically. That doesn't work, unfortunately. Now you can put it back into safe. You cannot pull the bolt back while it is in safe. Much like an AK, you have to take it and put it into fire before you start the process. Like so. The only other control that's on it is the bang bang control, pulling the trigger. It will lock that bolt back on empty. Moving on to the Model 81, same deal, except that we do not have that built-in 5-round magazine. We've got a detachable 15-round magazine. I know it looks really big, but it's only 15 rounds. So here we go. Left on the trackpad, we'll move our selector switch off of safe into semi, and now we can pull our bolt back. But you notice it does not lock back. So this one will not lock back unless there's a magazine in there. Now it will lock back. Well, of course, in this case, it's just pulling round off. But if it's empty, it will lock back like so. See, there you go. Now you can take the mag out. Now you can release it and put it on safe. So this one you can actually do that with, but the built-in magazine one you can't. All right, let's move on to attachments. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot because there certainly isn't any rails on this guy. Let's see, we'll go on the muzzle barrel. Oh, it'll take a muzzle brake. It'll take a suppressor. Sure, of course. How about a barrel extension? Yeah. Muzzle brake. It'll take a muzzle brake. Will it take a battle spatula? Okay. All right. All right. It's not so bad. As long as it takes a battle spatula, it's not so bad. How about a... No extra foregrip on there because there's no rails on there. What else do we have to play with? A stock? Well, of course, it's already got a stock on there. So, yeah, just the barrel attachments. It does, however, take a custom scope. Look at that. It's a little side mount scope. Hey, not too bad. We'll take a look at that in closer in the sights category, but we can put a little scope on it. Let's take a look at the Model 81. Let's see what'll go on there. Of course, no rails. Don't even try. How about barrel? Yep, same deal with the barrel, muzzle brake, and suppressor. Yes. God. Historically accurate suppressor. A barrel extension, a muzzle brake, or I always mess this one up. It's a rail adapter, battle spatula. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Battle spatula will go. What else we got? I already got a stock. Don't need a stock. So that's it. Just barrel stuff, and it will take that custom sight as well. All right, iron sight, starting with the Model 8. Oh, boy. Okay, well, that front, let me see here. That front iron sight is very thin. And in the VR, I can't even really see. I could barely, it's like maybe a pixel. But the rear aperture, even though it's teeny tiny, it's held so close to your face, it's not too bad. So in the end, It's a little tricky, but I think it's going to get lost. That front sight's going to get lost in the craziness of combat, but sitting here on the range, it's okay. All right, let's see what it looks like with the scope. That's the important thing. Now, I'm noticing right off the bat, since the scope mounts to the side, it means it doesn't interfere with clip mount or clip loading. Ha 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 ha. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. You know, that ain't half bad because the outside of this scope is so thin, it doesn't really block much of your sight for just regular irons. Doesn't block the irons either. You just got to pivot over just a little bit. Oof, not too bad. Kind of like it, actually. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Moving on to the 81. Well, right off the bat, you can see we've got very different sights here. These are not adjustable. It does have a little front post again. Let's see how small that is. It's a little thicker. It looks a little thicker, but that rear sight isn't quite as good, I would say. Let's see how this does. Not too bad. I guess that'll do. They're not adjustable. It's got sights similar to the old BB gun I used to have. Normally you would take this little bit and be able to push it, and that would lever the little rear sight up and down with little clicks. But not in H3. Not this time. Let's see what it looks like with our sight, though. Ah, there you go. Not too bad, and it doesn't interfere with clip loading either. So I could potentially... you know what? It's really hard to clip load this when the bolt doesn't stay back. That's unfortunate. Well, if you did have an empty magazine and you wanted to clip load it, you could still clip load it with that sight on there. It won't get in the way. Nice. All right, here we go. Recoil test. 5 rounds of 35 Remington. Oh boy. Let's see what we get here with the Model 8. Semi-auto. Well, that was quick. That looked pretty darn good. 9.4 average, 2 10s and 3 9s. Very nice. Very little recoil. Let's try it with the muzzle brake on there. I have high hopes for this. The muzzle brake does not get in the way of the sights. Pretty darn good there, 9.6. Hard to say if the muzzle brake really made much difference because it's already got low recoil to begin with. And finally, the suppressor, which actually looks pretty good on there. Oh, cool sound. 9.4 again. We're right within the kind of jiggle range. This is a very low recoil carbine. Moving on to the Model 81, we're going to do all 15 rounds out of the magazine on this one. Definitely got some recoil in there with some sustained fire, 8.27 average. But as you can see, the first 3 were right on the money. In fact, we didn't start drifting out till the 7th round. So probably the same amount of recoil as the Model 8, I'm betting. Let's try it with the muzzle brake. 9.13. It definitely went out and pulled back in a bit there. So not too shabby there. And finally, the suppressor. Ooh, started to drift at the end, but look at that. The first bunch were really good up until the number 10 shot, and then we started to go off course there a bit. 8.8 in the end. Still quite good. There you have it. The Model 8 and Model 81, very early semi-automatic carbines, rifles, whatever you want to call them. Till next time, I will see you. Oof, it goes by too fast. Good bounce.